This video was made possible by Brilliant. Learn with Brilliant for 20% off by going to the link in the description. And that's our budget gone. But here's the moon. The rest of this video will be in audiobook formats. I'm just kidding, of course. I mean, what's a budget? Well, NASA certainly doesn't know since the government doesn't give them any anymore, but maybe that's because they left 809 objects on the moon. That's more than the number of stars in the solar system, and then spent more of their budget to catalog every single one of them into this neat little list, and there's nothing I love more than a good document, so I took a look. In all, there are over 400,000 pounds worth of man-made material on the moon, and that's the weight measure, not the currency of course, because the Apollo program alone, which accounts for only a portion of the moon trash, cost about 100 billion in today's dollars. It's safe to say that if you include shipping, this is the most expensive golf ball in the world, or rather, in existence. This golf ball has a twin, in fact, and these two were brought by astronaut Alan Shepard. He snuck a club, which attached to a rock collector, and the two balls in his sock during launch, and once he got to the moon, he teed them up. His first shot was terrible. Of course, it didn't help that he was wearing an 180-pound suit, but his second flew over 600 feet, which would of course be impressive if the moon didn't have 1/6 the gravity of Earth. Shepard took the golf club back to Earth, but both balls still lie on the lunar surface. You see, during the Apollo program, astronauts landed on the moon in the 33,000-pound lunar module, but they left the moon in the 10,300-pound ascent vehicle, meaning that for every mission, thousands of pounds of material was left on the moon. You have to fight gravity when launching from the moon, so they just had to leave everything unnecessary behind. That includes 6 Apollo descent stages, 6 American flags, 3 packs of wet wipes, 1 bar of soap, 6 tongs, 6 throw bags, and 6 gnomons, which I bet you didn't know is the part of a sundial that casts a shadow, but if you did, I'm sure you'll contact me through every social channel possible to let me know. Also on the catalog are 100 $2 bills. You see, during the Apollo mission, most astronauts were paid around $17,000, roughly $107,000 today. While that may seem like a lot, these astronauts were some of the most highly educated, highly trained individuals in existence going on some of the most dangerous and most expensive missions ever undertaken. You would think that they should earn a bit more than a Wendy's regional manager does, and they thought so too, so they supplemented their income. A normal $2 bill is worth $2. But a $2 bill flown to the moon and signed by an Apollo astronaut is worth, well, $2,987.50 according to this auction. So on Apollo 15, astronauts Dave Scott and Jim Irwin, two of the most American sounding people in existence, brought these 100 bills to the moon. But then they left them there, accidentally. Luckily, they brought over 400 stamps to the moon as well with the intention of selling them on, but unluckily this resulted in a big scandal that led to them losing their jobs. But now, feces, urine, and vomit. Because there are 96 bags of it on the lunar surface, because what else are you gonna do with it? Bring it with you in the tiny tin can on your 2.5-day journey back to Earth? Also on the moon are nail clippers, 2 pairs of earplugs, and a portrait of astronaut James Irwin left by astronaut James Irwin. Huh. But don't worry, American taxpayer, NASA left some more useful stuff. For example, they left 4 retroflectors, which are essentially fancy, expensive mirrors, so they could measure how far the moon is from Earth by timing how long it takes for a laser beam to return to Earth. Through this, we've learned that the moon is moving away from Earth by 1.5 inches each year, or as scientists call it, 3.8 centimeters. Along with about a dozen other experiments, the astronauts brought some somber memorials to those who worked to get them there. All 3 Apollo 1 astronauts were killed during testing, and so Apollo 11 brought and left their mission patch on the lunar surface. The fallen astronaut memorial was later left by Apollo 15 to honor the 8 astronauts and 6 cosmonauts who died while advancing man's quest for the moon. What we do know is that whenever tourists first get to the moon, these 400,000 pounds of trash will turn into some of the coolest museums in existence. But before space tourism starts, we need inexpensive rockets, which you can learn to make with Brilliant.org. Okay, you're not going to learn the complete process of making cheap reusable rockets from an internet course, but with their classical mechanics course, you can learn the fundamentals of the physics behind how rockets work with their straightforward explanations, simple graphics, and thought-provoking puzzles, which help you learn to think like a rocket scientist. By going to brilliant.org/HAI, you can get started for free, and then, by being one of the first 200 people to upgrade to the premium subscription, you will get 20% off.